EBODKAST omwaka 1902 agasegaito SAKAGWA karosire bono iga chinengo mogongo mubere bwensi bwangire ninjitega saka karagendere n'oburini meka bwaye n'obu divine bwaye igo bono gwikagaturire kamwire karangerie bash gakesere karangerie ibisibiragire ibisibibiya kamwire karangerie sere ebise byarangerie. By the way, esere igo yarenge nene, people came from all over because omete omonto at the stature ya SAKAGWA and at his age na karangiria abantu bacha at these community gatherings and all that, but now yeneshera korangiria abantu to just thank them for the opportunity ba moire yoko baserve, you know, as a community. Troche bono rosire ta konyara gwaka buna ga kere chiraundi kale karaga sakangiwete ba, they believe that he could even transform himself into anything. Aga kiroro sana imeiga osokera kyo ngamnyo moino olio olibumbuli agasaka kaka tarre buna chingi, you know, teko manyase kale. Anyways, toirana se bash abantu bachire niweta abante bachite bagakoruisiko abagere aba mansai aba sigisi koromete. At this point now kwenye tuachakira komenye in unity, actually he achieved what he lived for, to try and unify people. So abantu bachite from all over niwete chieri chikanye nyukwansa bakanyenyire eliene kabisa elie kenyore elie tugire service chombe keromonto of his stature kule. So they did that and yae niwete rero yaragiriti abante kenyoro plus chingo konchi abege tu abu obomboli go chiange so medenesere, you know, egente kyoika yako. It was that kind of a kind of bash eliyogote yabantonga asante bona asie keire bise na alitaire kimoranje ndigenso efa kese ngo chitairande moina go se Bangkok nenche gencho yobo gima sao muro chaze go chide story. Anyways, ebisenge se byakire sere byakolire biranire bono byakiro monto ochire, you know, kero monto ochire boye byagokire, you know, that was successful and all that. Obotkobo the same night agasaka karangeri tieshere. Now this is where about whatever SAKAGWA kwirete, but there was so many theories surrounding his death. Actually there's 4 main ones right now. A theory entangani ebu kure byage tukuru boyo butuko gisaka se karangeri ebisesere barage ire babere fiti bale kuya kabisa bachire bameko ibunende bikuru ku SAKAGWA isebise bibera nochyo babichwe ibunga ninki obotuko baikari baro kigwe omubere ko chinyombo tubire na amayo lakini meta abantu mbaho kwa SAKAGWA meta he was this very powerful man with some mysterious powers. So abantu baho boye mbacho bakole kwerende by the time make mambi ke kari abantu bande bono baho chakurwarare. They had actually, it was a very mysterious theory. Nga kwa nyoro tinde and all that, and people did not agree with the way kwere wata bakoroki wasigete like a shallow grave, but like a grave nga noto amutinde ka. 2 days later abantu babaka bate benga yeah, there's no way mura tinde ke SAKAGWA. Let's exhume his body to confirming he died and also to a proper burial. So amachuma karangeri bakachaka okunya ali asebawora getiku ebise kunye iga very shallow grave batarachi no enale baikere liyo bakunya ke ganende baikera ga story kali SAKAGWA ga karansere beda bata ga story gete akabata magorane akagete ni moka manyete akaboirwe cheme kutani ya toroch konyoro chakira korosana no mo akaba ga karansere geka aga story akugatoke enyimbo yaye a few of his paraphernalia naka bosumuni kalika kaliba ngesemo kamete kalika arambe kalimo ko bekero spirit yake nyonsi bwasu na pakenyo. I digress. Toira na so boina bwa SAKAGWA banyori raga ntaku bono bachakero ko question aba abantu barego batame. People just ran away because there's no way to ra kunyitonyore mo bere to yona kyoka yomo berochi dark powers abantu metemba oboete. So that was the first theory. A theory akabere is very similar to this one, but the akabere bagote banga ebukure byage tweke mambi tari botuko bweke mambi abantu kibakwira na gochio beke basangi already umwe gakweta obutukobu ngakanyara bamutindikira baboni ngaskimo gutindikira omuntu mutarangirite nonye matanga. This is the story behind it. Inga mogete ngari eribanyanyete eriye bakabarageria abantu omuntu uri bweri eri akayoira akaboni nakaketeni karikaye no parafenale bwaye nakanyimbo kaye akenda gaisaransa isiko igagesiye ligali asabantu kerometo omuntu asirire to kunyo boina agaikaransa gani geteni kiaye akabeke omuntu uri bweri eri korunyarega n'ibintu byaye akalimira gochia marabanse ngora nene natebeti abantu baya tarenda ngorangeri wachkobera n'ekisokoro. So kero abantu bayinkwaya ngayadi otukunya asa atorre represento nyoro mubiro bose kende bakakunyaro bakasanga ibintu bya no birari lakini ereta iyo. So people are like, okay, nende bakawobwa bakatama. It's the same kind of theory. The theory agadato kind of the same, but the theory agatero bona bantu batabanga mbachiti kwenkwa mbachitro nyengo okunya barusi nende bose kende. People just believe it like that. But now theory yakane, this is the main theory. Let's focus on this one. This is the family accounts later on. Buna boniga late accounts buna research sakaya kire gocha following the descendants. Abatabanga before he died, he gave very clear instructions to his family. Inga ebange okunya chingoro ibere. Obo inobo tangani bakunya isika aligesi iskwega nyumba nene isikwega sabantu ba okunya, just like the customary law area bausi. Bakunya ororo no boina bwakabere babukunye nyumba mwaye iya sakabera alige sakerikiaye babukunye nyumba. It's also stated in some communities in abantu buna this powerful men baba Sakawa, the rainmakers, the medicine men and all that keroba gasirre kare they will be buried in nyumba nende baga tinde kiru in a very weird ritual which I'm gonna come to next. So Sakawa tete abantu baenga mukunye chingoro ibere eriye isiko mutindeke ebintu byane which was the stool ebo sumuni obubwaye akanyimbo kaye liyo lili akabekire, you know the things, and a few paraphernalia here and there mubitindeke isiko na ndabu no mucho teri abantu mwantindeke. Lakini nyomba ngigwete before he died he actually designed his own grave. Rena abaiswa babere balia ryogina nyamacharara akabate bibono bwata chispedi mbaro kiegas mbaro kimanande te mon designer yaga pakeso no makakani. Isenga se vya chakere okunya nyombo baro kiri nene bone ba kunyete yo engori yo kumutinde kaikaranste. So bakakunye ngoro it's gotta be deep. Dawa yo montabe accommodated kaikaranste. And this is where about the banga those customary laws chakare ya charinga manga ba usina baruya mono ngabantu naba atendekiru kero ba kumobeka mali ba mobeko ikaransera akanyongo gete akanyonga kona kimura ba karokire enseka enyonge nene ba mobeko ikaranse nyonge ligoroiga ni bo mo isaranse sta rigete abama ba beka ne bintu bya bikego imi ni gwetsaka ate familia ba mobekere abintu biri bya mario akolreiga arafo mbekere ne kirandike kira mabere koeresa bali ago chikorra chisokoro nentambe nabaka nikia mabera yo amwe sam aga stamina echine story to work rune familia. I'm just a messenger. So enseke ba ko bekera wai karansanse ba ko beka igo wai karansa ba ko tuberera ba ikega somotu ba leta kanyongo kanda gake ba ko bekera une helmet aoptinda basiri pakabo akanyonga gake ne gatono enseke ne akanyonga kanene egatono na kanyonga gake bako bekera une helmet bamanya ko tubera bakora ko rigoro Sakaba gate be familia enga aigase mo ntindeka ntagetabe so muntu tamanya ina way that mo gukora igora boe ekebure bakarukira bono. I think so, yeah. Obo ina igoro igaba kusiba koroka ekebure kyane igoro mo beka bona abantu bagabekere amo bomba maraba yaya mo ko beka be flat mo vise evidence yon sinte to kwanse gora mo bekeri ya maiga tato mo be ko mo rogo ka mo roitorima as long as inta yo inu mo roitorima pero ino ro ko mo kera watch my spiritual journey. Okay. Anyways, that's what they did, and that's what the people say. Yeah, better. Sakawa is gone now. People ended up to believe that this guy is gone. And Abu, the reason why it became very I got 1902, mind you. Now it became very mysterious. Na kia Sakaga cheated. The body was never found. On the day omete body as attendikire. Ariska aswa begete ama eri yori ane bintu bya tete family bati ne kebaro kya bantu ngano attendikire. Baida bantu ba taba ka ba choba tamne baka punyo. Ba colleagues information to confirm. Baka yori bintu bya viegas. Baka assume story ya ba ye family nga yes maybe na ba bo tabo mana tebete. Cheated kwa nature sokoro. This guy is not really dead. He will be back. And now people started believing like at some point, ooh, this guy is gonna be back to like, you know, take over his body and now achakobe savior yabo. Koera kelaga Sakakwete, when people started believing like he was gonna come back at some point, very strange things started happening around Abwa Sakwete. Abana mbaga tebirenga mbaga chire rocha se te asbaga chire ko bucha mache. Ama genegete gweriga ba rock hakita ka to ikara nsto ka begete ri yobona ri SAKAGWA ka bata chinde ruchinta ambe bona chiricha Yesu ne tukiga aka ka to kabisa kanga lakini ka ba ochikorangiria abantu bachikora ri abana bakulire abantu abantu abanne bagocha bakorra kende. Again, it happened so many times people actually now but I believe more that okay now this guy is really gonna come back. Ali asaba mutindike family ya kolete, you know, some respect bakabeka karobago igai around kebule kia aliskali. And then bakasime kama imete igai yaga yobori ni meka bwa imete you know whatever. Bakasime ke imete iga but later on moteno ochete ugasprout your roko rukumu rukosa kao by those big cactus trees. Kunuri akatwarire mikutano yae okamero. So that actually became the marker for his grave up to date. Things used to happen around that place, mysterious, among the stories she told up to date. Na babutu wake wale mtu nebi otobiko buga ko ruo kokolire ko wale kwa romu rogo ko buina bwa igoro igapakeri okigo chigo. But funny enough, when you walk closer towards that to see what's going on the grave, kere yentoke go sira ebi otobia kera umurolima, everything just goes back to normal. So people really started believing like okay, this guy had some really weird powers and he's still around Tarachi and he's among us. So 1902 yarre miaka meki kwa yarre so ala saka bono metega cool. Gatigire vacuum gete nene kwera. People used to follow him as a god, you know? Like by the way, when he passed on he gave his powers on to his son. His Yogi, the older son and all that. But his son was not as good as the dad. The dad left shoes so big gasaka ngego nyara ko bichori. So people also Bachete Koba so satisfied in this situation actually. 1902 agasaka ga kule bon. A vacuum yatigere again which needs to be filled. And people now started looking for weird things to believe in. You remember their religion? It's like he was like a cult. And a religion get spring korubogere mate inkoro ku mumboism, you know? Aba kusiba ko Kenya mumbo. And aba kusi they became curious of this mumboism. Ni ba igwete ko chibogere mate nkieke bakaenda ko chibogere ba chibobekwe e cult me bakasoa bakapundisha kabisa bakaranga igare yo no man. Mumboism ngwete aya bedo band omonto e discover mumboism na wote bakoro kuna kimono. Onyango dunde na mori ya uma. Yeah. So, but in real sense, it was not really a religion or anything. It was just kind of like a revolt against these white men. 1905, 1907, occupy the land. But the Christianity, it was a cult in a way that we can go back to the we can be embody in everybody. Worship and all that kind of stuff, but in real sense, it was just plotting the resistance. In most cases, this went on for a while. And they just kind of had to like shut it off, you know. 1914 World War I ya chakire aba British na aba Germany ba British nyora chinse chapa no ba meta gusi ba to chandre nto batageti aba Germany bagaswa gusi bakachaka kutambariza aba British tukagoka ngakasika akiri karato sebu tukajoin abajerumani nywete aromba atambariza aba British yake lakini aba British benge bake namarongete mbaonjolete bakaonchora chimesa bakatambariza abajerumani bakabatama ikorugusi bagatama koruo pero batama korugusi abakozi bari bengese mwacho ni tia abajerumani kimokete ngabona they are saviors beno batamire tata British nywete bagamaya goto discipline bagaite bise this also ega disrupt yo nyamumbo enyamumbe yega siro boliri obonsi bakasira ko yaraba bonomete mutajire nsegende kinkeyo and in the year around 1918 nalio ekwerende yakaberechete wave yakabere bona a different religion kwerenya mumbo ya chire bona bantu arwaro chenga nyamumbe litegaliko tokonya we need to believe in something else almost what naro karokiribona really in the year 1918 agachaka kotebia bantu ngabona nere the new prophetess ngasaka remember professor dogo chakwa mama ndegera yabo songa basonga babaachire the only way these guys are going to be rooted out is by him and that's why he left we never found his body where this guy is going to be back as our savior people believed in Bonare agakoch story chacha abasongo ba British bakarango mondo yong kwale resistance bona bari benyamuko in the year 1920 bakamubwata bakamusia kerechera agakirakiri ilikuwa 1918 1920 alibamos arwete chera lakini akirete kirienya esakawe kaizimegara akirake hiyo but people still kind of believe that this guy was going to come back because there's no way montaraku and there's nobody you know movere to hiyo so around 1921 bonare nenda gachaka gutwara kabore mugete nenda gachaka nenda bantu bakamujoin people need something to believe in more religion this is cultic movements anyways out of desperation people again believed in now 1921 tata abasongo bono bagacha bakatachiranse kabisa bakatebo chikazi chinyamumbo ne SAKAGWA isim oboliryobu wasrero mboyo bwaelire dota etiboliryo excuse my language but now he's gone his son Ryogi cannot really feel his shoes and Ryogi now at this point after World War II and all that I think he was getting also like tired and ochakira korosan and nerebon he needed to pass down the legacy mumboism na SAKAGWAism bono chabere written off na basongo igende kingeyo but remember Ryogi omoisi olio SAKAGWA inherited his dad's whatever paraphernalia and all that was doing his thing but he could not really feel his dad's shoes and also another bad thing that happened to him is that at a really young age amaisaka mwanga maisaka mogotera so tabwati maiso mobere nole chinguru but the eyesight you know some people kerobata akerekogota amaiso igakwanga and he was one of those so kerometo tabwati maiso and another kero akoro sana imochikoli medicine ngisane medicine man ochikoli yemete you know prasi yemete eriye bono tabwati maiso he had to hand down his powers and now this is where we see SAKAGWA's legacy again being passed down to a third generation and are they really fit to fill this position bagotigeru auptinda abasiri pakal ebsenchengweta na yesoy let me go back to the part where like a lot of mysterious things used to happen on SAKAGWA's grave. Up to recently, there's a story in the year 2007. By the way, up to engisa abona SAKAGWA satendekiro moto ino mogoro ko SAKAGWA no wameto abantu bambanyetenga iga no SAKAGWA tindekire. Ngaba swati kete ba engege sange bakorema, ege sange moke mayetegeri mogo cha iga mwali miromo Antonio mwenda sandu mwali miroyoni. Bachira sai bakori mobole boli mobo. Awakesere abo mugaso igoro bapete chirongoli chabo lianto amanyabwari gochia akore mabahotera mugaso igoro sanane umugaso bari tota chetense ekomorakera nganyi wete out of stupidity bose curiosity
oyo makalimange mono nobwine buli bwasakagwa ase maraba bikiriga umbabirige amagena abangire igorega agasuka amagena ariga nangigwete bagotebanga enkobe yagete mugaso igoro mare ataiyo mburi ataiyo enkobe gaka I think bagotebanga yagete abasubati abonsi. There was a group of women whatever more than 10 ekabaka bonsi bakalimera mugondo yani kiro umuntu alimetenze facing all directions, and after some time they all regained their consciousness bakaimoka bagatama kurwa bagatiga makomba abo and everything chirongoli chaba manyabu ali bagati bakaga soni degikawa yengo tegerengo makalinya masasi. These are stories told by the survivors, by the way. I'm not making it up. And Abu Asenko Baya Agete, Abu Igorabwe on Sakawa's grave. Yeah, to get a very big crack, which was visible for a while. So you can see how mysterious this guy was, you know? This is up to 207 right there, but these things were happening. And this is when the family was also giving these stories now, because now they feel like they can talk about it because people have a better understanding. So that happened. Remember, his legacy, Ryogi was the elder son, and he had to pass his powers down. Ryogi could not fit the shoes he left behind, and at tender age, he could not really do anything. So he needed to pass his legacy down to his firstborn son too. So he had Ryogi had I think 3 or 6 wives. I will remember. I'll put the name down all the way up to like oyo gatano nemo. Bakoendo yo gatano na kabere bawetana uchiabo oyo bona ko irano chikomenya nuri mutangani. Oyo mugatano na kabere gata bose oyo 8 oshikomera no komenya number 2. You understand? So Ryogi, his elder wife, Momoroba Monene, was supposed to take over this inheritance. But his third wife, who was, I think his third or his 6th, I'll correct myself here, who was also the quiet and shy one, akachaka plotting encho, akoive blessing ye ayo Momoroye. She did not want the elder wife taken over because she was also like the isolated one. She was the quiet one and all that, so she plotted with her son. Wakaenda wakaiva the dad's paraphernalia. But now, here's the story. Divine over and all that, we passed down, and all that. They were not supposed to go to nyomba because keroko bigacha nyomba, they lose their potency, like their powers. Chiko era. So Ryogi ga kakachire via ekiage isiko. Alias bako gacha. Momete gran alias moko gacha chibando kero mo asamo ire and all that. Ekiage no kakachire via ega irongo kerama. Wono umuswati yo gadato mukaye. Ati yo mwisho asimiga chire. Akenda akabiba. Bono koba babibete they had to transfer them kurwali babika sibita atoke mpaka bairu the blessing so that they can own the paraphernalia and the blessing. Krababiba, she was stupid. She did not know that these things could not be kept nyomba. Ukovigacha nyomba, it's a bad omen and they lose their power. Era kabira kabiveka mwaye irongo nyomba akabiveka oro. Abono chit story chi disaster shakerete. Nigwete her plot was ainko kuiva the paraphernalia and then enda kunyoro mugako Ryogi riachire ko mukwani mwaye metikero mukunguna bari tukuriya mugaka ocha nyumba riachire ko mukwani amombo yeke tairandiga amubanko kya mumene byamote byomete bono gente kuiso ko aka documenting kalente tonsa ene ryo beke siga yakiga. Yo Marco wanna get screwed. I mean document ngora kini mu understand it the reference. I don't know how she was gonna convince the guy, but that was the plan. But on that same day she was gonna approach him. Amobolinga na kikonko ngore blessing yenge omwisha. Nangi wete bikuro bikayuka na kurumwaye. mwayekera omuntu ahokura abantu bakamenya kuguchio tata bakaiko bagasangi enyomba ebwatite omurire ekoyibuna eyegoterero nomatenge chiri kwakabekire emoti ochiriko iga outerero omuriro gwoka enyomba aye enkoyiga ometakalekera chinyomba chiakayire bonyomba bonende kale twagaseretire nobonyansi eyakayire mogokonya ekoyi yonsi yari yaera mogokonya lakini chinyasi yatigara chiteneine chisere chinyasi ngese twagachwateire nene mwagachekera magende. You understand? Batingi gwete momoswati oyo mwaye yayete ekayipa kachinyasi chikagunse. Everything burned. Oh man, I'm standing on ice. Everything burned. And that was the end of Sakagwa's legacy, because once the paraphernalia chiliabegete nyomba, I think a lot of people out there, the reason why these things burned down, it was a punishment from the gods because of the way she tried to steal a blessing that was not meant for her. And also what since she put ebintu ebinyomba, ebintu ebyakaletere bad luck roko bibeka nyomba. That's why byakakachiro nyomba yende in a separate house isiko. Erta amanyete enyomba ya ayeka. Yine bate bengenche nyomba ya ayete, it was burning in a very weird way. Tali ya kawaida. Yenge gwoka bune yego utero. Like yani bune yete ite ko koru kerento keli menyote nge ya ayete libulio kali atiaritense. Paka chinyasi chitu agasetere chikotere naiga. Everything burnt down. And that was the end of Sakagwa's whole legacy thing. Bono rainmaking ya the powers and all that. She ngoma transferred down. No chiereta so mo aseriogi. So now Sakagwa is gone. Abasongo ba soire world war tu ba tatamba zirisire. Now it's us to fight them. Torena toko baseri engenjeri Sakagwa to. Remember Sakagwa nero vegete strategy korukale. And this is the way we told Jacob defeat, because in his prophecy we will have 3 accounts. Estragen tangani ntokobwa akabere ntokobwa akatono abagusito chakobwa. And by abagusi meant the black man in general. Ko era basonge batch they were raiding everybody who was just African. So again to abantu ba mean thinking a World War I was the first struggle because we did not benefit or did win anything. World War II, same thing happened. We did not. No? May struggle for independence. British koru Kenya. And that's why I talk about how other people were joining Mau and all that. So mokangati moko the struggle for independence is get so much Mau. Yeah. Toy chageta kare. If something was silly baka. If sencheng wetanat. Yes, soy.